Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finale. We're here now for round 12 here in Abu Dhabi for the final championship battle between Saik and Randro. I'm joined by two drivers here. Randro, obviously one of the championship contenders, and maybe a previous championship contender, but not this season, Lucas Paul, for a short interview before we get going for qualifying. So, Lucas Paul, are you there?
Yes, hi, hello.
Hello. The first thing I'm just going to ask you about, obviously it hasn't been a terrific season for you, definitely not like it has been in the past, up there winning races and possibly winning championships. Can you tell us about your season, how things are going for you?
Yes, now, this season was terrible. The level of all the other drivers were really high this season. And me personally, I didn't have like the motivation or the time to practice like I did in other seasons. And yes, and I think we could see that in my result in the other races. But yeah, for example, Randro, I know he has been practicing a lot. Also, his rival Siege, they both have been spending a lot of time practicing, and I basically I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, obviously it has been an unlucky season, but you've had some good results here and there. Obviously, what are your expectations then for tonight's race just before we head into the new rebranded season of RSL?
Oh, yeah, I really want to see how this last race of the season turns out. Like I said, I know Randro has been practicing a lot for Abu Dhabi because he needs to not only to win but also to gain a lot of points to Siege in order to win the championship. And I know that he really wants to win. So at least Randro, I know he practiced a lot, and I'm sure Siege also practiced a lot. So yeah, I think they both are going to be on another league this race.
Yeah, obviously we hope that. We hope it's going to be an interesting battle between the two championship contenders. Obviously, just back to you then, how are you feeling then going into next season, and what are your expectations on what you want to achieve? Is it go straight back into a championship contending, or maybe just to step foot back on the podium again?
I don't know if championship contender, but my expectations for next season are really high. I will have plenty more time to practice, and I'm going to take it more serious than this season. And yes, I expect to at least have some podiums and maybe my first race win in this game.
Yeah, obviously you are a previous race winner, and you'd love to be back up there again, but still you haven't won a championship, and that's kind of reminded you through the TikToks and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you still believe that you can win a championship in this league?
Honestly, not really. I don't know why, but this game, I'm not that good in this game like I was on the previous one. I don't know why, but maybe with more practice and more time, I will get better. But like I said, all the other drivers are also really good. In the first two seasons, I think the level wasn't as high as it is now, so it will take a lot of practice to win a championship.
Yeah, well, obviously you are a fan favourite here, and being now you are the longest serving Tier 1 driver in the league, and I think also have the most race starts. You will be rooted for by the group of guys in the league for hopefully at least another race win sometime in this game. But that's all the questions I have to ask for you. Best of luck in the race today, and best of luck for next season.
Thank you very much.
All right. So next we are going to move on to the current driver second in the championship, and who knows, maybe first by the end of today. Randro, are you there? Hello. So, obviously, looking at your results, you have finished on the podium in every single race you have finished this season. Tell us about your season, how things have gone for you as a driver and kind of just as a person in general. Yeah, definitely. Um, Obviously, the odds are against you, but as I said, showing your stats, you've finished on the podium every single time you've finished a race this season. So that does mean that possibly there could be a storybook written for you here. So do you think you can win this championship tonight, despite all the odds against you? Yeah. And then finally, obviously it's been a great season this season. It was a great season last season, but what do you think then maybe going into next season? And tell us what your plans are and what your expectations are going into season 4 and the first season of RSL. Yeah, and more than likely showing your consistency throughout the season when luck has gone your way. At times, you are going to be almost there. So, do you think that there is a few more seasons in you and a few more championships to be won if you, even if you do lose or win tonight? Yeah, that's it, exactly. Um, so that's all the questions I have for you. Best of luck tonight, and may the odds be in your favour. And we'll see you out on the racetrack. No problem. So that has been the short interviews. We'll go on pause until qualifying starts in roughly 20 minutes' time. Thank you, everyone, for watching this part, and we'll talk to you in about 20 minutes. Hello everyone, it is finally here, the finale of CTCR, the final race ever in our history. Before we have the rebrand to RSL, it's going to be an interesting lap, or an interesting race, as something has happened here at the start, and Psych has been disqualified. What has happened there? Himself and Velify have had a bit of an issue down at the bottom of the pit lane, and one of the championship contenders is going to be starting last. Now that is very interesting indeed. What a way to start qualifying. Something has gone wrong there with Psych. He came out onto the medium tyres and he has completely shafted himself and is going to be starting the race tomorrow last. Well, that is going to be interesting indeed. But we'll ride on board here with Tyro. He is the first driver to come out of the pit lane, and he is on his out lap, about to start the first flying lap of the finale. Another person who's been disqualified, Jackie Gabbana, I think has also had problems there. He's in the Alpine, but we'll ride on board with Tyro into turn one. Everything's so far so clean. He's on the medium tyres. Finally we're able to use medium tyres, as I think there's something completely wrong with the settings. Alright, yeah. Yeah, alright, there's something wrong with the settings as they're set up, so we're going to have to do a session restart. Well, it's a bit of a delay, unfortunately, into the finale, but we're going to just have to wait and get back going again. Hopefully, all to plan. Hello everyone, welcome back a second time, finally, for CTCR finale. Obviously a few minor hiccups there just a while ago, and unfortunately for too many times this season we have had a delay to the start of qualifying, but as many times this season also we have started relatively on time. Out first is Velify, brand new to the team here at CTCR, and hopefully stays with us going into next season. This is his first race, and we'll hopefully see whether he is tier 1 material or not, as Rando finally does join the session. And we have a full grid here tonight as the Haas driver cruises away down the second straight, and everything is all going to plan so far as we head now down into the second straight to the new reprofiled turn 9. It's the first time we race here as a league, and it's the first time we ever race in this brand new layout. We never tried the old layout, but we're trying this one, and we're hoping it's going to be an interesting finale indeed as he goes through the tricky sector 3 corners, and we'll ride on board and go through with his first lap in CTCR. So as he comes round the final corner, turn 16, straightens the car up, keeps it in third gear and down on the throttle all the way down into turn 1, should drop it down to third, yet ride the curb on the exit, and maybe a small lift as he comes up this hill of 2 and 3, doesn't want to invalidate, gets us very close. I think he may have even knocked the ball out without invalidating, obviously, and is obviously fastest in sector 1 with a 17.9. Round the tricky turn 5, one of the longest hairpins in the game, before one of the longest straights in the game, on the way down to the 6-7 chicane as the sun falls here in Abu Dhabi. Drops it down, should be just a second gear. Try and straighten the car well, don't hit that inside curb like I did many times last night, and then get down on the power again with DRS enabled on the run down into turn 9. I think it's a slightly banked corner, ever so slightly, as it's a long left-hander, trying to keep it in fourth for mostly, and then upshift into fifth as he heads down now into turn 12. And you want to just kind of go kind of the old way of doing it. It's more free flowing now, as it's almost flat through the final corner here without going too far wide. It has been a very clean lap from Velifi on his debut as he heads to the line with a 1:26, but that is beaten by Tyro, and quite convincingly by one of our race winners. Owen Curry surprisingly goes even quicker. Next across the line will be Paolo, who goes P3, and then it's Kofi to go P3 as well. SJR shortly behind, then he goes onto provisional pole, as there's a load of drivers now starting to come. Per Jaeger gets close, I think that's Jackie Gabbana, or no, Beanders, Lucas Paul, and then I think that's Adstox, followed by Fedeschi, and then followed by finally Jackie Gabbana, who won the Tier 2 championship, and Syke invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to go again. Randro, he's on his lap now, and he's P16, and it's Jake Mate is not come in on his qualifying lap, on his out lap, and could be in trouble for that, for breaking qualifying ban procedures. So not what you want to do. I know obviously he probably isn't going to set a lap, which may keep it a little bit lenient on him, but he still is breaking qualifying ban procedures and could receive a further quali ban or a further penalty because of this. So, as we watch Apatish Hund come into the pits and a few others, Skifan is the closest driver, I think. No, Syke is the closest driver to finishing a lap, as he starts on the medium tyres just to get a one lap going and kind of test the pace. The McLaren driver wants to keep those softs if he needs it, as he heads now round the final corner, and Syke goes only P8, so not that impressive. Turkey Boy and his Jake mate are the guys serving qualifying bans. As Douglas, I think, is, let's see if anyone else is on a hot lap. I think Skifan maybe. No, I think he's just finished one. Syke obviously isn't, and that's someone spinning off in the background. That is B. Anders, who's had a bit of a spin out of turn 5 and now is going to have to make his way back to the pit lane. So no one else should be on a lap. It's Jake May is finally going to come into the pits and more than likely then retire the car. We'll see how that is investigated. Obviously I think he is leaving this league afterwards, but we'll see if that stays or not. Douglas is on a flying lap. He's one of the only at the moment that is. I'm pretty sure, I think Per Jaeger isn't on one, and neither is Syke or Skifan. Nope, so yep, it's Douglas, the only one, as he comes into sector 3, and he hopes he doesn't get held up by a few guys that are spinning about here. We'll see now. Beanders doesn't quite stay out of his way. It's quite dodgy there from Beanders. Probably could have yielded a bit better. I don't think he's cost him any time though, as I think that's Syke who got out of the way quite easily. But Douglas will come to the line, and a solid lap puts him P6. He could be a really good driver for next season, and we'll soon find out whether that's going to be true or not, as Apatish Hund hasn't set a lap yet. He is going to set a lap which will put him P17, but it's not going to be very good. He must have had some sort of spin, but he won't come into the pit lane. He's going to get the ERS burning, and he is going to get going now for his first flying lap. And I think the only driver, or Rando could be on one himself. Yep, he is, so we'll keep an eye down on Rando on his flying lap. As he goes through the banked corner of, I think, turn 9 and into now the tricky final sector, and we'll see how he can do. Obviously, as he's known for being really fast and having traction control on full, and he's still like probably one of the quickest drivers in tier 1, surprisingly, a master with it on. As he comes round the final corner now, Rando is going to put his car P7, so not bad whatsoever. We'll watch Apatish Hund, because he is another driver yet to set a lap, as it's so far an Alfa Romeo 1-2. SJR will hope Rando finishes outside the points and he wins the race, because that would mean that he is going to be finishing P4 in the championship, the best of the rest between the 3 contenders. Obviously there's only 2 contenders at this stage, but Tyro definitely would have considered himself a contender at one stage, but Apatish Hund at the moment is going to have to possibly go again, because he's invalidated his lap. As I think that's Lucas Paul starting a lap, and we'll just go through. Kofi is on a lap and he is 2/10 up. I don't think, no, Arix Polo is also on a lap as he comes through the final corner now, and is going to improve on his time and go P2. What a fantastic lap by the Aston Martin driver, and that has put him well within reach of potentially pole position. We'll see how that happens, as a little bit of oversteer from Kofi has maybe lost him a bit of time out of final corner there. Owen Curry's ever so slightly up in his time, and it may be just enough to snatch back P2. We'll have a look now, because I think that's Jackie Gabbana starting a lap, and I think Syke is invalidated on one. So I'm going through here. I don't think anyone Oven Curry obviously improved and is getting just ever so slightly closer to SJR. Tyro 3/10 up now on the soft tyres. He's going to really show his pace now, as he's going to get right in the back of, I think that was a Patish Hund, and now has the cleanest of air as he heads through sector 3. This is where the time is made, and now that he has the soft tyres on instead of mediums, he's probably going to gain so much time. And what possibly could have been an amazing title, will it be another pole position for Tyro? He's had so many this year, and as he comes through here with 7 minutes left of qualifying, it's only going to be P3. He must have had a bit of trouble there, maybe with the Patish Hund incident, so that's not helped him out. Per Jaeger ever so slightly up in his time now, 1/10 as he goes through the 6-7 chicane, and then this is pretty much a turn here now, and this little kink of turn 8, and now all the way down to turn 9. We'll see how much he has gained. Now it's just over 1/10. That probably isn't going to be enough to get close to that top 5 who have set 5 amazing times, but we'll see how the Haas driver is going to get through the final sector here. Syke is still struggling out there in qualifying. He's only P13, but he has set a lap there that I forgot to watch. It's only P6, so he's just a bit off Randro, his championship rival, and Paolo, and Per Jaeger has abandoned his lap. Randro couldn't improve. SJR is only starting a lap now. The Patish Hund, he is on a lap, and it is obviously, I think it's a flying lap. We'll see now. No, it's not. It's a cool down lap. I think he's packed enough fuel to go again though. But Anders isn't on one, neither is Jackie or Lucas Paul. It's kind of that little dead zone, but Ski Fan, no, he just set a lap there that was 8/10 quicker and got a little bit closer to Syke, but not close enough. Velify disconnects, and we're going to just try and get him back in before the shaky part of qualifying starts to happen. Totally missed that, but SJR has gone quicker. He's gone just a few tenths quicker there, and has extended his advantage in pole position. Could be another good day for the Alfa Romeo driver, with the first race with the new liveries being put in, the updated liveries. The Alfa Romeo definitely, for me anyway, is a favourite, despite maybe the disadvantages it has as a car. The livery is definitely really appetising, and we'll see how SJR approaches this race. Will he spoil a championship finale win and just go for the win himself? We'll find out, because now with 3 minutes remaining, it's Randro 17 on his outlap. So he will set a final lap just a little bit earlier than everyone else. SJR set his a little bit earlier, but he might be able to get in and get out in just the nick of time. But I think Randro may have done this for a reason. He's going to get the cameras on him. He's going to see how this Mercedes can do on what is going to be now his final flying lap, as Randro now starts it. He has a little bit of traffic ahead of him. I think that is Fideschi or possibly Ajdox. I could just quickly go. It is Ajdox, but he's also on a lap. In front of Randro it's Jake May, and that's definitely breaking out qualifying procedures. He's allowed one outlap before, and he's done two. Now, obviously, there is nothing wrong with giving your teammate a tow on the outlap that you do, but he's done two here, which isn't quite very legal. And I'm going to have to see if that's allowed or not. But as Randro now goes down the long back straight, he was just, I think, a tenth up through the first sector, and as he comes to the end of the middle, he is just under a tenth up, so that won't be enough to get anywhere other than possibly take P3 off Tyro just for the moment, because we know how much Tyro can improve. But we'll see now through this final sector, whether Randro can improve. He's very smooth through here and just about avoids the collision with the spinning Adgedox. I don't think that caused much trouble for him, but we'll see now as he goes through the final corner. Randro 17, it's going to be P3, takes it off Tyro just for now, and that is not a bad start if that's the case on what's going to happen. Per Jaeger is also on a lap. He's abandoned that. Adgedox, his qualifying has ended. Lucas Paul, not on a lap. Not many people are. Fedeski, I think he is, and he's coming around now, sector 2 or sector 3 on his final lap. And I think kind of just wrestles the car through, and it hasn't really been so smooth for him, but we'll see now. He has a lot to prove to see if he's going to be racing in Tier 1 or Tier 2 next year, but he comes around the final corner, and Fedeski cannot improve. So Apatashund on the lap, I think. No, he's not. So right on board with, I think, Tyro. Oh no, Psych, sorry, who isn't improving as of now. We'll find out now as we ride on board with him all the way down this straight, down to the 6-7 chicane. What can the McLaren driver do? Adgedox retires in the pit lane, so that's the end of him. And Psych is going to come to the end of his sector 2. He is 2 tenths up. This is going to be a mega lap from the McLaren driver, from the championship contender. How much can he gain through the final sectors here? We'll switch to broadcast mode. We'll have a look at the McLaren. It's his final race in CTCRs. 5 drivers have finished qualifying. Velafi, it's Jake May and Turkey Boy serving qualifying bans, Adgedox and Randro. But we'll see now if Psych can spoil the Mercedes party as he comes round the final corner. It's Psych 8 to the line. It's P2 for the McLaren driver. What a superb lap, but can that be spoiled by Tyro? He's ever so slightly up in his time. First we'll switch to Oven Curry coming round the final corners. He's 2 tenths up. What can he do when he comes to the line? It's pole position for Oven Curry. What a lap from the Alfa Romeo. And after the disappointment from himself in Brazil, it looks like he's going to be starting on pole tomorrow as SJR. Can he spoil his teammates' party as he comes around the final corner and snatches pole back? The final person that can deny it is Tyro. Will he do it? Yes, he will. What an end to qualifying as Tyro grabs pole off SJR, who grabbed it off Oven Curry, and it's going to be the 2 championship contenders, Psych and Randro, in 4 and 5, and that is the end of qualifying as we just wait for Per Jaeger to come round and into the pits. What a qualifying, what an end, as Tyro 0-0 snatches pole for I don't know how many times this season, possibly that's 6 this season. And what a lap that was. So Tyro is on pole, SJR P2, Oven Curry P3, Psych 4th, Randro 5, Eric 6th, Douglas 7th, Skifan 8th, Kofi 9th and Lucas Paul 10th, Per Jaeger 11th, Adgedox 12th, Rando 13th, Jackie Cabana 14th, Apatishund 15th, Anders 16th, Fedeski 17th, Falefi 18th, it's Jake Mate 19th, and Turkey Boy will start from the right back of the grid. Hopefully it's going to be a great race on Sunday, as that has been our qualifying, and we'll see you then. So here we go, it's the finale. Tyro lets us underway on the formation lap and everyone follows along nicely. Here we go. So quickly, throw your predictions in the chat. Will it be Tyro? Will it be Psych, Randro, Oven Curry, SJR? We don't know as he comes through now. The final few corners, who will win this race? We wait for them all now to come around the corners. There's Randro. There's behind Randro is an Aston Martin. So I think Psych has had a bit of trouble on the formation lap, and I think that's him there. There's an Haas been spun round of Per Jaeger. It's all, nothing's going quite so well for now. Psych, look how angled his car is at the racing line. Tyro has his kind of position towards the Alfa Romeo, as it's going to be the Ferrari to finally line up. So here we go to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. It's been a solid start for, I think that's Oven Curry on the second row, who's trying to attack Tyro. Sight gets an excellent start. He's jumped everyone. He's up in the P2. Randro's had to take avoiding action. There's an Alfa Romeo gone off in the start. That's SJR retired from the session, and it's a bad end to the season for him, and it's an early virtual safety car because of it. So unlucky from SJR, who spins out and has retired from the session immediately. But it's the dream start from the championship leader to Psych, who's jumped from 4th to 2nd. What a start, as Rando has gone up 1 obviously because of the Psych, the SJR spin. Paolo the same. Ajdux gets a rapid start up 6. Kofi up 2. Douglas has also gone, he's gone down 1, along with Ski Fan. Lucas Pauls are made the same, just on the edge of the points. Rando has jumped 2. Per Jaeger's dropped 1. Jackie Gabbana up 1. Apatish Hund up 1. Felafi up 3. Turkey Boy up 4. Fedeski has remained in place. It's Jake Mate's gone up 1. And Beanders, with the worst start of all, goes down 3. Well, SJR, probably the worst start of all, down 18. So, as we're back underway, Tyro, who's on the soft tyres, maybe as a good idea for himself, is he's going to try go a short stint but very quick. He goes a bit wide there. That could possibly have been a warning. There's someone spun off. It's Ajdux. Ajdux spun off in the background. I hope there's no collision. There is a collision. Ajdux is out, and it's been a chaotic first few laps. First lap here, as I think that may have been someone's hit into him. I don't think anyone's come into the pit lane. Someone has. I think that is an AlphaTauri of Fedeski into the pit lane. No, he hasn't. No one's came into the pit lane, but Ajdux has retired from the race from a bit of a collision. But the safety car hasn't came out because everyone's gone by it fairly quickly. They've got it recovered quickly, and Tyro is setting fastest sectors and is gaining away from Psych. Might not be great because Psych won't get that added slipstream, which could leave him a bit vulnerable to Oven Curry right behind, as the front leaders of the top 4 are starting to pull away kind of from Kofi, who is just 1 second behind. As we watch as Psych tries to hunt down Tyro at the front of the field. You can see Randro just lurking in the back behind Oven Curry, but it looks like Tyro is getting away well in the corners, and that is not going to be very good for Syke, as he'll come vulnerable to Oven Curry and eventually Randro as well, as they go through the sector 3 now. The tough section it is of trying to get it spot on, as Tyro has gained probably one of the biggest gaps so far, other than the ones down at the back from the spinners, as Tyro sets another fastest lap. And now on lap 3, Syke may become a bit vulnerable, as Turkey Boy has spun off on the final corner, but has enough time to avoid the collision and will let Fedeski by. We'll go switch back to Syke and Tyro, because I'm pretty sure this is the lap DRS is enabled, and Oven Curry is quite close behind. We're right on board now as he goes, as it looks like Turkey Boy's had another spin. He is gaining with DRS, but Syke seems to have a low downforce setup, because it's hasn't been quite the gain that you'd expect. But it looks like Oven Curry's got a good exit here as they head then down through this straight. Randro seems to have dropped off a little bit. They all have DRS though, and Oven Curry is a lot closer to Syke this time. He's not going to risk any sort of move though. It's just going to stay behind, and Syke is going to have to worry about that now. They both have similar ERS, and they're just going to have to see as Tyro starts to fade away in the distance, how will Syke defend Oven Curry next lap, because now the gap is 2 seconds, and that's when the slipstream's almost completely disappeared. Oh, but it's all gone wrong for Oven Curry, and I think he's hit into Randro. No, I think Randro's just avoided him. So lucky there, because Oven Curry has completely spun off there, and Randro luckily takes a bit of avoiding action and gets away. So heartbreaking though for Alfa Romeo. Such good qualifying as has been throughout this season, but absolute heartbreak in the race from both drivers here today. But it's left a championship battle now between Randro and Syke, as Oven Curry finally regains control of his car, as Randro and Syke are going through this DRS section. He wasn't within DRS, Randro, but he seems to have a lot of race pace here, because he is gaining just ever so slightly on Syke down this straight, maybe because of that added slipstream, and we'll see as we ride on board if he is generally just approaching the corners better. But he has DRS now this time on the run down into turn 9. He's going to be too far back this time, and as Tyro's tyres start to wear, could be the nick of time for Syke to get that added slipstream and possibly even a straight with some DRS, and he might be able to withstand the first stint Randro as they head down through sector 3 now. This is where all the mistakes are made, as Oven Curry showed last lap and Fedeski and Turkey Boy showed in the previous ones. We'll see now who will make the mistake first. Will it be Randro? Will it be Syke? As they head then through the penultimate corner, through the final corner now, and it is still them two side by side, as it's Jake May is having a bit of a battle there with Falefi down at the back of the field, as Randro is just a little bit closer to Syke this time as they head down towards turn 5. Obviously he had to take avoiding action, and that cost a few tenths, but now he is right there. He's within the 7 tenths, and we'll see out of the corner how well he does on the power. It looks like Syke has got a bit better acceleration, but now with this long straight and the help of DRS, it could mean everything for Randro as he heads down into the 6-7 chicane. But Syke, with more ERS usage, means he is going to be a little bit further ahead. But there's another straight, luckily, now for Randro to possibly have a go at the McLaren driver as they head down towards turn 9. And as of now, Randro is just sitting behind and waiting for something to happen where he can make the move. Obviously he needs to win this race, and Syke finishes third. Randro, in order to win the championship, there's a lot of other ways he can win it, but as of now, Syke will be crowned champion in 24 laps time. But hopefully it's a lot more, it's not as straightforward as that, as they head then through the final corner yet again. on lap 5 and everything is just a little bit steady. Again though, Randro just seems to look a little bit closer this time as they go now down through turn 2 and 3, another mistake liked area, and the Mercedes driver is definitely getting maybe a little bit impatient, but he is a little bit closer to sight this time, and as I say a little bit, I mean a lot, because he's within 5 tenths now, and with DRS this could be the chance. Tyro's starting to slow up, Randro is speeding right down here. Will he make any sort of move? He definitely looked at it. He decided to back out, but Randro, or Syke, seems to be struggling with tyres there at the moment. Randro's going to burn that ERS and desperately try and gain, as he's gaining on Syke here. He really is gaining, and he's going to try go around the outside. No, he's going to switch to the inside. They make contact. Syke goes a bit wide, and Randro takes the lead of the race. And a look at Tyro. Tyro's losing all sorts of control of his car here now with these softs going off, and Randro is right on the back of Tyro as he dives down the inside of Syke, and with a little bit of contact takes P2 off him. And we'll watch now as Randro goes through. Tyro isn't giving up yet, but it's perfect timing for Randro as he's got by Syke. Tyro has dropped off because of obviously those softs aren't going to last way too long. Randro is in definitely hammer time in Lewis Hamilton's perspective, as he will get DRS off Tyro on the run down into turn 5, and so far things are going to plan for the Uruguayan, as now he will have DRS not only maybe to attack Tyro but defend from Syke. What a first few laps that has been, as it seems like B. Anders has had a bit of a problem and has left the session. I hope that's not just because he was annoyed. I hope that is because of a disconnection. I'll have to see about that. Few more yellow flags, but so far it's only a VSC that's we've had so far in lap 7, as Randro is literally really close to Tyro this time. Oh, he goes a little bit wide. Maybe those mediums are burning off. Tyro is in. Turkey Boy has retired down at sector 1. I think he's retired on track, and that is definitely not allowed, and that's going to be unfortunately a race ban into next year. It says that in the rules clearly. You're not allowed to retire on track. He just had to wheel it back to the pit lane, and that is Turkey Boy out of the session. But luckily it hasn't caused any sort of safety car, but Randro is going to try and weave and defend from Syke behind, but with DRS he probably will be a sitting duck. He's going to try his best to make some sort of defensive move. Tyro's going to go, Syke's going to go to the outside. He's going to stay there. Randro's going to leave the room. They battle hard. They battle really strong, and I think Syke does have the DRS, and with better battery percentage, Randro's trying desperately to try and defend the position, but as Syke has to go around the outside, he may just get that done. He gets really close to Randro. He's hit Randro. This is a real scrap here for the lead of this race. And who will get it? Syke or Randro as they head down into this tight section of the track. They're almost side by side, but Randro aggressively defends his position and remains in the lead of the race. The McLaren driver hopes. To be fair, he doesn't even need to attack. He just needs to stay in P2, and he has this championship wrapped up. And that's what Randro is probably going to try and do. He's going to try and let these other drivers get into this battle and hopefully disturb Syke. And maybe that's what Syke is thinking. Should I just get by him and just break away like I have so many times this season, as he heads down into turn. Oh, and they go very close. But it looks like Randro's going to stay ahead. It has definitely been a bit of a scrappy battle, and we're going to have to see who's going to try the undercut, who's going to try the overcut. It's Randro that's in. Randro's bite the bullet first. He is in. And it's going to be Syke to try that overcut now and unleash his pace. Randro, how will his undercut work? Because he's obviously going to put on the hards. Lucas Paul's also in, but he's picked up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. Randro's got his hard tyres on his way out. Now, where will he come out? Because he possibly... No, he won't. I thought he might come out where Rando is, but Rando was also coming to the pits on his 10-lap old sauce. Syke seems to be struggling a bit as well. We'll see how long that lasts. Randro, how will his undercut work? Because he's obviously going to put on the hat. As they head now down towards turn 9, Kofi's too far back, and I'm guessing Syke will pit to try and cover Randro. We'll see now. Everything seems to be going smoothly for Syke, so maybe, obviously with Randro's tyres being cold, obviously they will heat up quickly in the desert of Abu Dhabi, but we'll see now whether or not Syke is really struggling with those tyres, because it looks like possibly Randro was, and that's why he has come in, but it's going to be Syke to also bite the bullet and cover off Randro and also come in. So Tyro, who's been on those hards for a long time, could possibly become vulnerable at the end of the race, but he's going to be leading the race, and Syke is in for the hard tyres. They're going to be fresher hard tyres. We'll keep an eye on Randro as he comes around the final corner now, and we'll see whether or not he is out at the same time as Syke. Syke is just going under the track now and is starting to get a little bit closer to Randro. He gets that little bit of a cut of the corner, but it looks like undercut success from Randro as he has stayed ahead of Syke and is crucially that 1.1 seconds ahead of the McLaren driver, as Syke is going to head down that back straight now and hopefully push for the race win. But it's Kofi, Arux, Paolo and Skifan, the three in front that haven't pitted. Tyro has pitted and he is currently, I think, just only 6 seconds ahead of Randro, so not as far as you'd think he would, and with his tyres soon beginning to wear towards the end of the race, we'll see whether or not he'll be able to win it or not. Syke doesn't seem to be as quick on the hard tyres as Randro and is losing time. Skifan and Kofi are in. Both see if maybe a possible jump in the pit lane could happen from the Red Bull. And where will they come out? Will they come out beside where Douglas pitted just that lap earlier? Obviously they're going to remain in position, and Arix Paolo, who is going to stay out a little bit longer and maybe just hope for that safety car. The McLaren guys go through. Does Douglas go through, crucially? He's going to get that little cut, but it looks like the Aston Martin and the McLaren, or the Aston Martin and the Red Bull, are going to come out ahead of the Williams, who's definitely a lot faster than the Red Bull, but we'll see as they head down towards turn 5. Everything seems to be clean. Only 3 DNFs so far. 2 were crashes, 1 was a manual retirement that will probably be punished, and then obviously we have Beanders who disconnected. So see how these guys do. Owen Curry has been struggling ever since his spin, but his pace definitely is tier 1 like. As Syke heads round turn 9 and is gaining on Randro. Randro's probably going to have a little bit of traffic, and it's traffic that people don't have to get out of the way for, and that's this Aston Martin of Arix Paolo, and whether or not these two will be the same as it. I think Pattershund is going a little bit close with Per Jaeger, the battle of the points between these two, and everything seems to be clean so far. Owen Curry is going to try dance around the outside of Velifi, heading into the 6-7 chicane. He does, and his next on his list is Rando. So Randro is gaining on Paolo PM, who has not pitted and is running in second place, and we'll see if Randro will make easy work or difficult work of Paolo, as there is no DRS, but he is still gaining on the fresher rubber on the run down into 6-7. Tyro retakes the lead, obviously, with those drivers pitting just one lap ago. And Randro wants to at least get back up into second place. That's a spin. That's its Jake mate. But luckily, only a spin. And no safety car of any sorts needed. But Randro's getting a lot closer to Paolo now on the run into sector 3. Paolo may hold him up just a little bit here. Doesn't have to get out of the way. Randro, oh, he's tapped him. He's spun him round. And that is going to bring Syke right into this battle, and possibly will be investigated by the stewards. He's gone for a little bit too optimistic there, and that could be trouble for the Mercedes driver. And we'll soon find out, as Syke is gaining on Randro now. On the run down towards turn 9, it's Randro versus Syke yet again. It's the battle of the championship contenders. Syke's gone for it down the inside. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. Syke's got the move done. He's taking it, but Randro's going to get the better exit. Syke's going to have to DRS. They're side by side down this back straight as they head all the way down into the 6-7 chicane. Randro's slightly ahead. Syke's going to try and stick with it, and he's going to take the safe way into the corner. Randro has it, but Syke could well and truly get it back now with DRS all the way down this straight. Randro versus Syke. Syke and Randro on the run down into the banked corner. Randro seems to have managed to defend from the scare, but that is some incredible racing. And despite this little incident between... Oh, Syke's tagged Randro! Syke has tagged Randro just there. Randro manages to save it, and luckily save his championship contention with that, as Syke is now going to round the final corner here and is going to start attacking Randro now. Randro definitely didn't get the exit he wanted, and Syke is really quick into this chicane. Randro, importantly, has let him by to maybe snatch that DRS zone right beside him there at turn 5. Now, how can Syke defend as Randro comes at him with DRS? He's going to stop deploying the ERS. He's going to head down into that first chicane. Randro 17 is going to take it, but Syke is going to defend it. Very well done from the McLaren driver. May have had a bit of contact with Randro, but now with DRS, Randro is going to come back at Syke, who's derating. Randro's also derating. They head into the banked corner, and Randro stays ahead. What a battle it has been between these two in Abu Dhabi. Such an interesting battle between the two of them. And we'll see whether or not it will be Randro, or will it will be Syke, as there's an incident in Sector 3. Lucas Paul has done a Latifi, but has kept his front wing intact. Syke and Randro yet again into this section where Randro does be slow and Syke does be quick. He's using an awful lot of curb there, which could lead to a spin later in the race. Syke is going to try and attack this corner as best he can to get the best exit and stay as close to Randro as he can, but he also has to worry of Kofi behind, as Velefi is about to be approached by back markers, or they're about to approach the back markers of Velefi. This is all in the favour of Tyro, who looks like he's going to win his third race of the season with all of this controversy. Tyro obviously winning in Japan, and obviously last time out in Saudi Arabia, is going to finish the season well as Syke gets the move done on Randro, but Randro is going to come right back at him. Syke has spun. The cameras haven't caught that, but Randro may have made a bit of collision with Syke, and Syke has spun. Randro may have damage. He's going to pull. He's going very, very slowly, and he's going to let Syke back by. Now that's crucial. Would he have been better taking the penalty, or he's let him by, which I don't know if that still may be investigated. We don't know about that. But he's caused them both to spin, and Syke is now in front by just over a second, and Randro may have just thrown away his championship battle with that collision. We cut it off, all off camera. It was a poor timing of what happened there, but Randro seemed to have gone for a little bit of a dive, and Syke had completely lost it. But it means that Douglas is on the podium for the second time this season, along with Kofi, who is also on the podium for, I'm pretty sure, the third time this season, I think, or second time this season, as they head down towards Sector 9, or Turn 9, it's Douglas who's going to snatch P2 off Kofi. He's going to go down the inside. The man who won in Miami looks like he's going to win second place off the Aston Martin here. And we'll see if Syke's going to be able to catch up to them and take a podium on his final race in CTCR, but it looks like it's going to be a win nonetheless, and Randro at the moment is going to have to hope for a miracle in order to win this race. Win this race and win this championship, because as of now he is 19 seconds off the leader of Tyro, who is comfortably just driving ahead of the rest of the field. And as there's more yellow flags, I think that is Per Jaeger who's struggling down there, but he's doing well up into P7. Lucas Paul's got by Jackie Gabbana, who's come into the pit lane, and he's going to put on some fresh mediums. This Jake May picks up a penalty for speeding. So it looks like it's going to be that anticlimactic ending that we hoped wouldn't happen, but it was climactic up to a stage until Randro had all the problems and is now facing them now, as he now has a back marker in the way between himself and Syke. But there seems to be some yellow flags ahead, and I think that's just Beanders getting out of the way of Skifan, Kofi and Douglas, the three-way battle for P2 at the moment. Will Skifan was a tier 2 driver at the start of the season, will he be a tier 1 podium sitter by the end? We'll soon find out, but we want to keep an eye on this battle. But it looks like the battle has stopped, and it looks like Orange are victorious, but we'll find out with 9 laps remaining, starting just now. Paolo's got by its Jake Mate on the fresh mediums. The Aston Martin takes P10, and that is the end of points on its Jake Mate's final race. But that is Rando, who spun off, picked up front wing damage, but luckily just that. He has damaged it completely off the track, and I don't think even a VSC is necessary for this. Rando will come in for a front wing change. Randro is gaining on Syke ever so slightly, but it is right now Oh, what's happened here? Oh, it's Paolo. Paolo spun off. He spun off. He's lost his front wing. But yet again, only 13th. Kofi is going to battle with Douglas side by side through Sector 3. This is amazing stuff. Tyro's into the pit lane. He's finished. He's finished with his stint. So this is a battle for the lead here, essentially, between these guys. And Kofi and Douglas are going to come out on top as Tyro is into the pits for mediums now for the last few laps of this race. And it's going to be Kofi, Douglas and Skifan, the three, battling it out for the race win here in Abu Dhabi. Psych will possibly get by Tyro. Randro, what happened to him? I didn't even see. Randro's had all sorts of problems there. He's into the pit lane, and it has been disaster for his championship today. He said it was impossible. Maybe it was just not been the day for Randro 17, who serves his 5-second penalty and moves on. Psych, he's weaving there. Obviously not to defend Tyro, but he's just weaving just to enjoy. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, there seems to be a bit of contact here in this battle for the race lead, and Skifan is in front. Douglas has lost out most, has dropped to third, and Kofi's in second. Psych, well and truly could be on for a race win after all here, and possibly, as he lets by Tyro, who's on quicker tyres, maybe Tyro will now start to chase down the front and win this race. But it's another yellow flags. It's Rando again. It's Rando who's let the front runners by and now running in P15. It hasn't been the race for Rando, and he is 15, and he has spun again, I should say. The three are starting to lose a little bit of a gap now as Skifan seems to have a chance here to win Red Bull's final race, or Red Bull's second race of the season. And what a time it would be to win this race, as Kofi will hope to chase him down and get Aston Martin's first race win. It's going to be a very unusual race winner today if Tyro doesn't catch up in the final 2 laps, or the final 7 laps here. It will be difficult to overtake these guys. They will defend for all dear life for this podium that's so desperate for them. But as of now, it's looking like it could be another Red Bull party here in Abu Dhabi. Psych is in P5, but it looks like the championship will be his because Randro is now dropped out of the points, and unless there is a late safety car, the championship will go to the Papaya. It will go to McLaren. Tyro picks up the fastest lap and is already within DRS of the 3 battlers here at the front. They've lapped most of the field, but as of now, it's just Psych and Rando dancing with each other here through Sector 1. One lapped the other one, but I'm sure Rando doesn't care. He has got a Constructors' Championship to cheer about, and Psych, I think, may have a Drivers' one as well. It was definitely a nasty battle between the two of them, but in the end it is a battle well deserved, possibly for Psych, as Douglas seems to not put up much of a battle with Tyro, more than likely because of them being teammates, and we'll see now how Kofi puts up with that battle. Obviously he doesn't have ERS or DRS, and that means Tyro, even with the small defensive manoeuvre from the Aston Martin, he will be ahead and is 8 tenths up on his fastest time. There seems to be problems though, and that's yellow flags, and it's Jake Mate who has had a bit of a spin. Finally, Tyro has one more person to overtake and then get 5 seconds ahead, and that is Skifan. Will it be, for the 3rd time and final time for Tyro, a race win in corner to corner racing, or will it be Skifan to win the final race of the old branded name? We'll see now as they head down towards turn 1. Tyro sets another fastest lap. He's gaining, but he's gonna wait possibly for that DRS straight, as Ski Fan's 11-lap-old hards may start to bite back at him now, and a safety car could come in crucial for the Red Bull as Tyro chases him down, but maybe he's going to go for it even before the straight. Tyro's going to try go around the outside. He's going to get the better exit, generally just because of the run he has, and he is in front. He has the lead of the race, but Ski Fan's going to come right back at him here, and it looks like they're going to go side by side on the run down in towards 6 and 7. Who is going to have it? Tyro leaves the room. Ski Fan leaves his equal room. Tyro is in front. Not a great camera angle to show the battle, but because of DRS, Ski Fan's going to be able to come back at him. This is a mighty battle here because Ski Fan wants this race win more than anything, and he has got the move done. Tyro is up into P1, and with the fresher rubber, all he needs to do is gain a second a lap before he is crowned a second or a third CTCR victory. But Ski Fan should take the positives out of the potential negative. He won't get the race win, but a first podium has been coming for him, and he may be delighted to get that. But Kofi, his tyres seem to be struggling at the moment. Syke is definitely gaining, and after him it is Douglas to see who will get the final podium spot. Syke is going to go around the outside into turn 1, and that's a lovely overtake into turn 1 for Syke. What a year it's been. Some amazing manoeuvres and maybe some controversial ones at the same time, but he is up in the P4 and has 4 seconds in 4 laps to chase down Douglas to get a final podium on his final race, on his championship victory. And for the first time in 25 laps, we have had 0 battles out on track, which is, to be honest, quite unfortunate. But we'll keep an eye on this gap between Ski Fan for Red Bull to try. Seventh time this season. That is fairly well decent, but it's a heartbreak for Tyro as Randro. His championship has gone away from him, but he will get up a consolation P9 and will board. the Haas of Velefi has DNF'd. Wow. But we can't take the credit away here from Ski Fan. It's his first race win and it's his first podium. What an amazing season and what an amazing finish to what was an interesting one, to say the least. Ski Fan wins from Douglas, from Syke, who wins the championship altogether. They celebrate on top of the Abu Dhabi podium in this, what was a thrilling race. So, as we run through the order, Ski Fan wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final of CTCR. Douglas comes in P2 for his second podium of the season, with Syke in P3. Per Jaeger, what an amazing drive for Haas in P4. Kofi P5 with a Patishund in P6. Lucas Paul P7 does enough to secure Red Bull fourth in the championship. Alpine are going to finish a P8 with Jackie Gabbana, who replaced Marley and got a good job in his first Tier 1 experience. Well, his first Tier 1 experience after he knows he's going to be in a seat next year. Owen Curry is in P9 for Alfa Romeo, and Randro finishes his finale in P10. Fedeschi, Bianders and Rando round out the last of the finishers, with Velefi essentially a finisher. He was about 1 metre away from finishing P13. Tyro 15th, Arix Paolo 16th, it's Jake May 17th, Turkey Boy 18th, Adstox 19th and SJR 20th. We'll quickly fly through the instance in case a penalty wants to be removed, but that has been an amazing year of corner to corner racing, and unfortunately it's the final season as this name. But as of next Friday night we will be renamed RSL, and we are still open to people to sign up for our first season, but obviously season 4 of the league as a whole. We hope you've enjoyed the finale, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks' time for the first race of the season, which will be announced this time next week on the Corner to Corner Racing YouTube channel, which will then be called Racing Super League. That's it for now. That's the end of the Season 3 season. Good night.